Hey everyone, my name is Christy and welcome to another readathon announcement video. I'm also going to be doing my TBR for October. But first I want to explain a little bit more about the Middle Earth Readathon. It's the second year that I'm participating in this, so I'm really excited to be joining Reese from the writing Songbird again, who's the creator of the readathon, and Holly from Lovely Day with Holly, and also Celestria. So this readathon was a lot of fun last year and I can't wait. We're gonna be doing some sprints, things like that. So if you're wondering, hey, you made a video about your September TBR, are you ever gonna talk about the books that you actually read? And the answer is yes. I have filmed my August wrap up for the end of summer jam because I read 9 books in August. So really excited to share those books with you. And I'm also gonna be making a video for the Back to Hogwarts readathon. I ended up reading 15 books. So that was a lot of fun, but I had to get this video out first, even though it is a little bit late. So sorry about that, guys. But that being said, let's talk about the Middle Earth Readathon. You guys like my shirt? So it's a little bit different this year. There's actually going to be 2 bingo boards that you can do. One of the stipulations is that you can't double up on a prompt this year. You have to read 1 book for each. And I believe if you complete both bingo boards, which is like 18 books, then you can be entered for a giveaway. And I know there are definitely some overachievers out there that can totally do that. I'm probably just gonna stick to one of the boards, and the board that I wanna do this year is the Lord of the Rings board. So there is one called, there's 2 teams. It's like the Hobbit team and then the Lord of the Rings team, and I'm gonna be doing the Lord of the Rings. So first, before I share with you what the Lord of the Rings team is, I'll share with you the Hobbit prompts in case you wanna choose that one. And the first one is The Shire, a comfort read. Gandalf the Grey, a mentor in the book. Erebor, a quest or a journey. Feely and Keely, an unshakable bond. Rivendell, free space, so whatever you want to do for that one. Thorin, a strong male character. Bilbo Baggins, an unlikely hero. Legolas and Tauriel, forbidden love. And Bjorn, a character who is not what they seem. So the board for the Lord of the Rings team is The Fellowship, Found Family. The One Ring, a dangerous trial. Merry and Pippin, a comedic element. Mines of Moria, a dark and dreary place. Lothlorien, free space. Second Breakfast, a sequel. Gimli and Legolas, an unlikely duo. Faramir and Boromir, sibling loyalty. Aragorn and Arwen, a love story. So those are all the prompts. And because I have to do this video very quickly to do my TBR, I'm just gonna talk about the books that I have on my radar for the month. I'm not gonna sit there and like match them with each of the prompts, but I know they do fit in there somewhere. So the first one I found that I want to read is called Slippers and Thorns, and it is a Cinderella retelling. Since it's fall, I want to read Cinderella retellings even more than any other time of year. So whenever I see a new Cinderella retelling, I kind of like make a note of it, and I saw this one recently and I was like, okay, I want to check that one out. Another Cinderella retelling I want to read is called Meet Me at Midnight, and this one's a contemporary rom-com with a little bit of magic in it, so that sounds really fun. I saw Crown of Glass by Alice Lavinia, which I believe is like a fairy mix world kind of thing with a Cinderella retelling, so it sounds really interesting. And I know Alice Lavinia is like a really great author, so I'm sure it's gonna be good. And what else? Soot and Slipper by Kate Stradling is another Cinderella retelling. I also want to read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, just picking up from the Back to Hogwarts Readathon from last month. So I want to keep going with that series. And Haunted at Twilight, which is supposed to be a little bit of a spooky story by Layla Humphreys, continuing in her fairy tales retelling series. There's a Snow White retelling I have my eye on. It's called Shattered Snow. It has to do with time travel. So I don't really remember a whole lot about it other than that. It has to do with time travel. So that's kind of a buzzword for me, time travel. So anything that's gonna mix retellings and time travel is like, you don't have to say anymore. Voice of a Siren, which I believe is a Little Mermaid retelling. Forget Me Not, which is a contemporary rom-com. That's also on my TBR because I'm supposed to read it for a book club. Also, there is a book, I believe it's called Date with Danger, and it's like a contemporary spy novel. So I've heard about this one a while ago, heard it's really, really good, and so I don't know, I just feel like I'm in the mood to read it this month, so we'll see if I actually get to it. I've got a few physical books here that are also on my radar for this month, and The Summer of You and Me by Denise Hunter, which I know it's not summer, but I've heard really, really good things about this, and so I picked it up from the library and I was like, maybe I'll be in the mood to read it. We'll see. How to Solve Your Own Murder. This just looks really intriguing to me. It's about a girl. Oh, what happens? Okay, I just want to share this this description real quick. It's 1965 and teenage Frances Adams is at an English country fair with her two best friends, but Frances's life takes a hairpin turn when a fortune teller makes a bone-chilling prediction. One day, Frances will be murdered. Frances spends a lifetime trying to solve a crime that hasn't happened yet, compiling dirt on every person who crosses her path in an effort to prevent her own demise. For decades, no one takes Frances seriously, until, that is, nearly 60 years later when Frances is found murdered. In the present day, Annie Adams has been summoned to a meeting at the sprawling country estate of her wealthy and reclusive great-aunt Frances. But by the time Annie arrives in the quaint English village of Castle Knoll, Frances is already dead. Annie is determined to catch the killer, but thanks to Frances's lifelong habit of digging up secrets, it seems every endearing and eccentric villager might just have a motive for her murder. So, yeah, How to Solve Your Own Murder. It just sounds really fun, really, really interesting, especially for this time of year, like a little bit spooky. This is Pulp Fiction, which is the next one in the series for apple cider slaying. I really have a desire to go to an apple orchard right now. The only thing with this one is I believe it takes place in the middle of the summer, so kind of a little bit out of season, but still the same apple vibes. And this one is just like a cute little middle grade I saw at the library. It's called Thornwood, and it's the Sisters Ever After series, so this one will fit for the sibling loyalty one. And I don't know, I might see if this one's on audiobook. I really love listening to middle grade stories on audiobook because there's just something like fun and whimsical about it, and like it reminds me of my childhood when like you would hear stories orally more often, kind of thing. So yeah, I just find listening to middle grade books on audio is just like a lot of fun. So we'll see if I actually like physically read this or listen to it. The last one I have on my TBR is called I'll Be Married for Christmas, which I believe is a Marriage of Convenience Christmas story. And I really love Christmas stories, and so it's getting to be that time of year. I know it's not quite Christmas yet, but I like to get a head start on Christmas tales, and maybe I'll do a recommendations video this year of all my favorite Christmas stories, because I've read a lot over the years, so yeah. Well, that is all for my TBR for October. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books as well. And I hope to see you guys really soon at some of the live sprints for the Middle Earth Readathon. Hope you have a great day. Bye!